And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the quarterfinals. Welcome back to the quarterfinals here of the Sparkling Tuna Cup number 99, your weekly dose of Tuna Cup action. Here we go. We are jumping into our second best of 3 of the evening, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the German Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Jumy. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have Isabella, we have the South Green Terran player, we have the Red Terran representing Team Little Fairy. It is Percival. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our best of 3, as we jump into our PvT. Here we go. We have our initial openers, we have initial setups here, and coming into this series, it's going to be a hard one to call. I think I lean towards Jumy, but I'll be honest, I haven't casted much of Jumy as of late. We've just been so engrossed in EWC and Fusion Esports League. We've been so engrossed in these big events that that I haven't been able to catch too much of Jumy as of late. So great to see him here once again, and we'll see how he compares. Percival is hyper aggressive, double gas opener out of Percival, going for a faster factory. Percival, he is typically one that is more aggressive on 2 bases, especially in this matchup. It's a little bit rarer to see Percival take a third. Now, we did cast Percival last night during the Wardy TV Monday during his series against Hearthstone, and we saw that Percival, he was forced into longer games. Hearthstone, he was going for non-stop charge based openers, so he was going Twilight Council into charge into Storm, just hybrid offensive play, and just shutting Percival's aggression down time and time again. I think it was a really good way to almost hard counter Percival. Percival, he thrives against more standard openers. If we see a blink based opener, if we see like 2-3 gate blink into a third base, like that is what Percival wants to play against. But if you stay on 2 bases a little bit longer, then Percival has a harder time actually being aggressive and actually finding any damage. So we'll see. We'll see how Jumy will approach Percival, as so far so good. So far, double gas, faster factory, now going into a later CC, later command center. From here, we can go into Reaper Hellion. There it is, Reaper Hellion's on the way. From here, we can go into a Starport, into an early Tech Lab. We can go into Widowmine drop, we can go into early Cyclone, add-on swap into Banshee play. We do have options here for Percival. We'll see where he takes us. Meanwhile, Twilight Council out of Jumy. Now, I know that Hearthstone, he was going for non-stop charge-based openers last night, but here I expect standard play. I expect Blink, not charge, out of Jumy. But we'll see. We shall see. As we are loading into one of the larger maps in the map pool, if we were loading into a smaller map, then I think there's more reason to get into charge, but here on Tokamak, should be Blink. As usual, that is going to go down. Meanwhile, yo, I shout to Kashim in the chat. Good to see you. Good to see you, Kashim. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you had a great time over with the Fusion Esports League. Hope you had a good time. Hope the pizza was nice. And I just spoke about it. I just spoke about Hearthstone going into charge non-stop against Percival. Now we're seeing it here, charge against Percival from Jumy. And overall against Percival, I think this is a solid way to open up. Both Reapers and the Hellion does go down. Does get 3 probe kills, so it's a bit of a 1-to-1 trade here. 3 workers for 3 army-based units. I would say a better trade here for Jumy. At least Percival gets a full scouts, but he doesn't know what we see. He doesn't know what's going to be charged. Now, as I mentioned before, against a player that's known for aggression, that's known for all-ins, I do favor charge as an opener. There's a bit of a give and take here. A Twilight Council into Blink, what does that provide you? I mean, with Blink Stalkers, you're able to shut down drop play. You're able to blink and chase down Medivacs. You're able to blink and chase down Banshee-based openers as well. Like, you have a more mobile army to kind of dip back and forth, protect your bases, and also counterattack and threaten Blinks into your opponent and contain your opponent as well. Like, Blink gives you a lot of map control. But what it doesn't do, or what it can be a little bit more difficult when it comes to embracing and going up against, is these big 2-base all-ins. That's where something like charge can shut down a little bit easier. Meanwhile, the boys are going to be pulled. Ooh, the Widowmines do arrive. So far, no major connections. 1 Widowmine goes down. There's 1 mine left. 1 mine remaining. Gets 1 probe. And with that, Jumy, he will defend. And charge almost complete. Behind this, Percival rushing into stim. Okay, really early stim out of Percival, earlier than normal. Does not go for an add-on swap into Raven or into Banshee. He's going early stim, early tank. This does look like an early push. Oh boy. And I want to say that Jumy should be ready for this. Storm is on the horizon. Again, Temple Archives into Storm. This is all on 2 bases, by the way. This is all on 2 bases. This is all before the 3rd. We're going to have to warp in, though. Jumy, he doesn't see the move out. Uh-oh. Jumy's playing blind. He's playing blind. He's in the dark. Jumy, once he sees his army, he needs to warp in. He's going to get caught. He's going to get caught out. Massive tank shots, they do go up. Tank volley's going up. Jumy, he needs those warp ins. Warping in whatever he can. As Percival does spot the Observer. Keen eyes. Keen eyes out of Percival. Chases down the Observer. Likewise, we have more Warpins. There we go. More Zealots. And we pull the boys. We pull the boys. 2 base all in. Out of Percival. Right now, we don't need an expansion. We need to warp in. Jumy doesn't know. Doesn't realize how much danger he's in. We need as many Zealots as possible. He's banking up some resources. Gateway's just not getting power. There we go. When he's warping in. Oh, he expands. He gets a 3rd. Now is not the time. Now is not the time, as he does miss the move out. He does miss the rotation. There we go. The boys are now revealed. And the Archons, are they going to be enough? Massive Archon shots going up. Takes out the mineral line. That's going to be 14 dead SCVs. And he needs more Zealots. He needs more Zealots. He barely doesn't have enough. Yeah, barely enough. It's still so close. The final tank is going to go down. But you can see here, Marines, they barely do survive. We needed an extra couple of warp-ins here. It was close. It was close, and Jumy's holding. Not the cleanest hold, especially with the rally. True, the rally's coming in. Again, the base is not going to help here. So it was a kill, not a cancel on that shield battery. Jumy, he does hold for now. Say that again, Percival, he's not stopping. We need those warp-ins. As many as possible. More gateways on the way. What's going on? But Jumy does hold, and Jumy does have the greater economy. And hey, he does get away with a 3rd at least. Does get away with it. Could have done with extra warp-ins and could have done with a more robust 2-base setup, but regardless, does survive. Percival dropping into the main. Jumy does spot the rotation. Does react. Does pull away. Island goes down. Island goes down. We do see Jumy catching reinforcements. He does scout the 3rd CC. So now he knows that Percival, he's trying to macro out of this as well. Now, as it all settles, as both players are expanding in their 3rd bases, I do favor Jumy for the time being. I say for the time being because there's still drop play available here for Percival, and he can still bounce in between the bases, and you can see how difficult it is for Jumy to deal with. Remember, he has no blink, right? There's no blink stalkers, only vanilla stalkers, so trying to keep up with the movement and mobility of Percival can be difficult. You know, Storm is halfway done. Storm is halfway complete, so we do see Percival rotating, and we'll see if Percival can find some more damage. So he's rotating over towards the right-hand side. Zealot run by on the left. Percival, he's secure back at home. Getting in Ghost Academy, here we go, dropping to the natural. Nothing in position, there's nothing here. Jumy, he's at the 3rd. Jumy's at the 3rd, not the natural. There we go, does reactively warp in, does warp in just in time. Whew. And Jumy's holding. Jumy, he's holding on. Forces back the drop. Percival expands. Jumy has Storm. And again, in a head-on fight, I favor Jumy. Right, Jumy, he's got Storm, he's got Immortals, he has Charge Lots. Working towards +1. I do favor him in those head-on fights. It's on Percival to try to pull him apart and slip into a base, slip into a mineral line even. Are we headed? Percival rotating up. It scans the base army to the mine shots going off. Gets some okay connections, but overall, Jumy does hold. Jumy, he holds on, getting his 4th base up running. Jumy moving out. Let's move out. Nice catch. Catching out a handful of Marines. Oh no! Oh my god. Yeah, massive Archon shots on the Medivacs. Medivacs getting very low. Percival, he pulls back. He does have a defensive setup here. Oh, nice feedbacks. Storm as well. Jumy, it's going to be awkward pushing into this position, but he can try to rotate. He could even try to deny the third. He pulls away. He rotates over. Blink is now done for Jumy. Do you have a storm drop? Ooh. I'm not too sure how I feel about all 4 High Templar being in the prison, and not a single Templar being with the main army. It's a little bit concerning, as the storm drop does hit the natural. Prism taking a lot of damage. So far, 8 SCVs, not bad. And there are less workers here in the main. Gets another 2. 10 in total. 10 workers go down. And this Jumy building up. Again, Jumy should be the first to max out. And as long as he has some splash damage, he should have that greater army as well. There we go. Double Robot, double Colossus production. Again, Jumy just getting further ahead. He's still holding on to those storms as well. Has the 4 High Templar in the prism. Oh, the ghost! Oh no, he gets 1! Yeah, it takes out 1 ghost. Storm does pop up. High Templar, they unload just in time. Yeah, saves the High Templar. From here, rotates in. Outside of EMPs connecting, Percival, he just cannot engage. EMPs don't quite land. We get an okay EMP, but oh god, the storms are popping up. And Jumy, he can push through. At this point, he can push through, but he's moving into a planetary. The planetary's holding on. At the same time, Zelarama here towards the third. Cleaned up by the Widow Mines. Nice catch on the High Templar. The Archon as well. And Percival taking a better fight here. Does defend, does hold on. Didn't really lose many workers. Jumy overextending, pushing into the planetary. Jumy has to back off. Behind this, Jumy taking more bases. Colossus, they're slowly building up. We're getting there. Colossus are amassing. Jumy, he lost most of his High Templar. These are 3 fresh Templar instead. Both armies are maxing out. Both armies are maxing. Jumy, for the most part, has map control and has a greater economy. I say, oh, Jesus. For the most part. Could do with more workers, to be honest, to saturate those bases. Jumy, calm down. Let's rotate. Nice EMP on the Colossus. He's also trying to force some friendly fire. Archon's going down. Yeah, the first Colossus is going to be falling. They barely do pull away. Nice control there by Jumy. Zealous, they're A-moving on the CC. Yes, some wasted DPS. They're wasting the DPS here on the CC instead. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol. Colossus, they go down. Zealous, they do nothing. And Jumy, he blunders this attack. And he will lose everything. Yeah, he will lose everything here. Again, half his army was just attacking the CC. Wasn't adding any DPS, any value. So he wasn't able to buffer. And Jumy, he's in a rough position. He lost far too much there. Este Jumy. Yeah, Jumy, he's down to 0 Colossus. He's got, what, 2 High Templar? Yeah, 2 Templar, 2 Storm. Percival, he moves out. And I don't know how Jumy can solve this. I mean, outside of Nova's, true. Nova's can pop off. EMP's going to be connecting. Oh, yeah, EMP does connect with the High Templar. But Jumy, he will hold. Again, thankfully, Percival is only fighting with a portion of his army. Everything else is back at home. Yeah, the Marines, like the main army, is back at home instead. And this is what Jumy needs. He needs to fight these armies like a portion at a time. Then he can recover. Everything else is back at home. So better fight for Jumy. Jumy, he can recover. Building up those Novas, building up those Disruptors. Once again, we can see Percival here with just a drop. Getting caught out. Oh, a little bit trigger happy. Nova's on cooldown. One Nova goes off. No major connections. A better Nova towards the end. Gets 1 Ghost. 1 Ghost, 2 Marauders. And again, at this point, it just comes down to the Novas. When it comes to the Viking count, there's still 8 Vikings. Okay, still 8 Vikings. If the Viking count gets any lower, then you can go back into Colossus. That's when there will be an opening. So let's rotate. Percival, he's a little bit overstimmed. Pushing into the planetary. Nice Storm. Very nice Storm. Nice Nova as well. Much better trades here by Jumy. Jumy pulls away. At the same time, oh god, at the same time, a brutal counterattack. Takes down an expansion. Prism, Observer. Nice little pickoffs. But to get a Nexus, we'll lose everything though. Getting locked down. Oh, god. Nova's going up, getting 1 Ghost. Nice. Percival does pull away. Keeping Jumy busy. The map is being cut in half. At this point, Percival, he will need extra starports. Ideally, when you're in this kind of game state, you do want to go into your Infusion Core, which we do have, into Liberator range, into Mass Lib. But no Liberators yet here. Oh no! The Nova's going up. Easy connections. Yeah, Percival not quite paying attention. He was focusing on his drop elsewhere. Speaking of running into the army, losing 3 Ghosts. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 Ghosts going down. Brutal losses there for Percival. Percival, he has no bank. And that might just be too much. Nova's going to try to zone away. Jumy not quite committing. Just waiting for his reinforcements, rotating back around. Does find an expansion. And now we're making 4 Liberators at a time, but this might just be too late. There's a bully back. At the same time, forcing a recall. Does force a recall. Jumy racing on over. Trying to collapse on the army. Trying to. Losing an Archon. Here we go. Mass DT's coming in. Let's go. We get some decent EMPs catching Colossus. Nervous a somewhat connect. Crazy army. A lot of disruptors are exposed. And losing more disruptors. DTs that hit the planetary. Planetary goes down. Oh, and the entire mineral line. 26, 28 SCVs. And 28 workers going down. Percival, his economy is being crippled. Losing more expansions. That was going on. Not quite connecting. Nice splits. Nice splits out of Percival. Another planetary goes down. And the mass DT popping up. As this is getting a little bit messy, but Jumy, he should have enough. He's got 3k in the bank, 4k in the bank even. It's mainly minerals. He's lacking gas, so yeah, gas income is not quite what it needs to be. Missing gas guys are here towards the left. Missing gas is here on the right. He's resaturating. Getting more bases. And this is what it comes down to. I mean, it's been very intense back and forth, and I would say that Percival, he's had some better fights here and there, but the economy, it's not really there. He has to rebuild the CCs, he has to resaturate his bases. Doesn't really have much of an economy to work with. As the Razor do set up. Diesel Storm on the left hand side. We're gonna be throwing away those zealots. So far there are plenty of disruptors. And Jumy, he will take the fight. Once again denies the CC. And that's all that matters here. Even if Jumy's like fighting inefficiently, it doesn't matter as long as he can deny the bases. That makes it worth it. As these Liberators are going to make it difficult to move in. It's going to make it difficult. We have more Liberators on the way. Jumy fanning out. Creation has arrived. Nice, very nice. Let's catch a ghost. Jumy getting into 4 Colossus. DC's from behind. Nervous they pop up. And Jumy, I feel like he finally has done it here. There's just not much on the ground left. You have Metamax, Vikings, Liberators, but nothing on the ground. That's a 1 Marauder. That does run into Liberation Zone, though. Does run in. There we go, whooping in 12 Stalkers at a time. Stalkers. And again, I mean, shout out to Percival for holding on as long as he has, but at the end of the day, he's down to 46 workers. His mining is being denied. He can't afford this, and Jumy blinks in. Does blink in. Takes down the Liberators. 1 Liberator left. The Vikings are doing what they can. But Jumy, he does it. They're in Metamax with nothing to support. GG, and Jumy, he will take game number 1. He will take a lead in the series. Whew. GG. Again, a bit of a messy start and messy mid-game is what I will say, where Jumy was barely holding on thanks to his charge-based opener, getting into early Archons, getting into early Immortals. He defended against the initial 2-base all-in, and Percival fell behind. To be honest, he fell behind after the failed all-in. Despite that, he was able to somewhat recover and max out and have a threatening army. If you remember, there was one big fight that Jumy did kind of fumble when he attacked the 3rd base, when the Zealots were on A A move on the CC, and when he lost all the Colossus, like that was a really, really rough fight for Jumy, but Percival didn't counterattack. I mean, he did, but he only counterattacked with 3 medevacs full of units. He left everything else back at home. Even though Percival had a massive army, he wasn't using it. He wasn't using the army. Instead, that army was staying at home. It looks like he was maybe a little bit afraid of a War Prism harassing his bases, so he was in the bases, and with that, Jumy, he recovered. Jumy, he wasn't punished, he was able to recover, he was able to buy enough time, and rebuild, remax, GG. GG all played, and with that, we're now getting into our next game. Game 2 is going to be on Torches. Oh boy, we're going to be loading into one of the more unorthodox maps in the map pool. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Torches, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Little Fairy. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player, red Protoss himself, the German Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Jumy. See, like, hi in the chat, how often does this tournament run? This is a weekly tournament every single week for, Jesus, how many years at this point? I want to say like 4 years. There have been hiatuses for the Sparkling Tuna Cup, but it's been running for a couple of years, and I mean, hey, this is the 99th edition. We're almost at 100. Almost at 100. Crazy. We're gonna have to do something special though for number 100, right? I would imagine. What do we do? I mean, the boring thing is to boost the prize pool specifically for the 100th edition. Like that's the easy thing to do. Do we do anything else with it? We could change the format, I suppose. But I don't know if there's much you can do about the format outside of like making it like double elimination or something like that, which might make sense with a boosted prize pool. But at the same time, I don't know if we want to like make the event too long. Hello, Jumy. As Jumy does set up a proxy in the center of the map. Again, welcome one all to Torches. Torches is a very quirky map in the map pool, known for aggression, known for all-ins. You have these gold minerals in the center that you can mine through. We have the gold bases in the center as well. So again, you can be very cheeky here on Torches, and so far we do have Jumy opening up. Let's open up. Let's have the Sparkling Tuna Cup. I want to say Sparkling Tuna Cup started back in 2021, right? I want to say. I could be crazy. No, sorry, 2022. Okay, that's when it started. February of 2022. Over 3 years. 3 years of tuna. Yeah, I guess we could have like a boosted prize pool, or I could play in it. I guess. I guess. I don't know if that would be a good idea. What else? We need to bring on a guest. I'll message Jumy. You know, that real talk. I need to message Yaku, of course. Yaku, he's of course one of our own, and if he's available, he hasn't casted in a couple of weeks or a month at this point. But it would be very fitting if he came on for the 100th edition. Gotta get Yaku on. It's been too long since we casted. As the initial proxy gateway is now up, we do see 2 gateways back at home, 1 gateway across map, 3 gates, oh my god. Going for a 3-gate opener into the gold. Okay, Jumy, let's go. Meanwhile, the CC is going to be delayed. Nice, we go see already with the initial stalkers. He will delay the command, so he forces a cancel. Oh my god, this is getting out of hand already. It's getting out of hand, getting out of gold. Nice mine shot, takes out one of the stalkers, but there's still 2 stalkers left. Widowmine is now on cooldown. Marines are going to be going down. The Marines have to back off. Widowmine is going to fall, and right now, Percival, he's supply blocked. Oh my god. Was supplyable for a moment. Is in danger, is in trouble. The Hellion barely is saved. But Jumy can keep going. It can keep pushing. Nice juggling with the medevac. Refs moving in. Boys are being pulled. Adepts take him into the shade. They get into the mineral lane. Catching out some SCVs. Oh, the Hellion! Oh! They're going for the medevac even. Medevac goes down. There's no more juggling. No more control. Hellion falls as well. Marines, they do get into the bunker, thankfully. They do load off that bunker. And remember, Jumy, he's not one base all in. Remember, he has the gold. And he pulls the boys. He does pull a couple of boys. They're being transferred over towards the gold. There is going to be Cloak Banshee on the horizon. Checking the vision here of Jumy. Jumy, he does see the tech lab. He doesn't see the research yet. He has an idea as to what's happening, and there is a robo, thankfully. There's a robo for Jumy, so he has access to detection. This is where you get Bjorn to STC to show up. You mean to cast? What, Bjorn's in this? Bjorn, he's in the bracket. What do you mean? Yeah, Bjorn's a regular. Unless you mean like as a guest caster, I guess. True. We'll get him on call. You like Tesagi? Like, Tesagi. Make the uncast with Cristiano. Ah, no. But exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys have not seen the bracket yet. Of course, the bracket is live. Bracket is stacked. Bjorn is in the Bjorn is a regular in our tournaments. Players like Bjorn, Solar, Showtime, Shin, Zaun. Those are the typical. I say typical. Those are like the semi-regular players that we do expect here. Top 2 seeds of this week's tournaments are Bjorn and Creator, of course. Here we go. Banshee hit the main. Not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4 probes going down. Now, this is nice damage, but the problem is the gold. The problem is that even though Jumy's losing workers, the gold base does make up for that. Now, thankfully, Percival does establish his own second base. Percival, he's catching up. Jumy had a strong start, but Percival, he's recovering. He's recovering back at home. Banshee still being active. Jumy going for his own drop. But at this point, I mean, I feel like Percival, he is secure. I mean, he's got a Jesus. He's got a wall of bunkers on the way. Does have some SimCity. It's fully walled up. From here, Percival, he is building up, still building up into bases. Actually, there we go, third CC is on the way. I was still not fully convinced whether or not Percival would actually commit on 2 bases and just go for an all-in. Now we have the answer. He's going for his third CC. He's getting into a longer macro game. And Jumy will not be able to break this. Jumy, he cannot break this location, not on 2 bases. So Jumy, he's also expanding. He's building up with macroing. Despite the chaotic start to the game that we've had, we are slowing things down. And we're macroing out of this. Okay, let's go. Yeah, I could be macroing out. At the same time, though, Percival going for a massive doom drop, and Jumy, he's missing. I mean, he has observers, that's true, but he should have an observer here in the center. He has 2 observers with the main army. Yeah, observers out of position. There should be one here to catch this drop. Jumy's in the dark. He is following the Banshees at least. The natural, there we go, massive doom drop into the main, and going for the tank. Cannon goes down. That is Nartosis pylon. Going for the shield battery. Zealot's charge in, brutal mine shots. Mine shots are going up. And it's a really awkward engage here from Jumy. Does get a nice storm though. Does land a nice storm. Jumy holds. Jumy, he holds on at the same time Banshees are dealt with. Yeah, both Banshees went down. Percival breaking out. And Percival, he does have momentum. Pushing on the left hand side. It's so difficult for Jumy to defend both locations at once. I don't think he can. And he can't afford to lose this. Percival dropping into the main. Mineral line is about to go down. Jumy has to get the hell out of here. And Jumy's falling apart. Percival, he will take a lead, especially with his own third base finishing up. So he pulls away. Kills the gold. Gets his own third. And Jumy, it feels like we're going for the all-in. Now, what I will say is that now that Percival has expanded here out in the open, it's a little more vulnerable. Like this position is a little more open, it's a little more accessible, so Jumy has a higher chance of breaking this position more so than the natural. Like the natural, there's just so many production buildings and so much SimCity here. It's so difficult to really engage with a Zealot-based army. And here comes Jumy, going for the going for the other gold. Yeah, storm. Doesn't want to waste those storms though. Shots going up. Storms coming in. Nice red here from Percival. Now going for the mineral line. There it is. Yeah, it does storm the mineral line. Ooh, one item that goes down. Had a lot of energy, but that's going to be 11 SCV kills. Another storm popping up. Another 2 storms. Another storm towards the end. Pick up, but GG gets called. That was all that Jumy had left, and Percival ties up the series. We're going to the ace match. GG. We are going to game 3 again, an intense back and forth here. Jumy, he had a lot of momentum. Jumy, he was doing well for himself early on, but we saw that Jumy, he ran out of steam. He could not defend his 2 bases. He didn't have any vision in the center of the map either, so he did miss the massive Dune drop as well, and he was torn apart. He could not maintain that gold base, and now we're getting to the ace match. We're going to be loading into a crazy map here, a rare sight. Up next, loading into Last Fantasy. Let's go. Last Fantasy, the final map here of the series. The ace match. Let's go. We go. As we're getting into... Oh, there we go. As we're getting into the ace match here. And again, Last Fantasy is going to be coming up next. This is going to be an interesting one here, as again, Last Fantasy is the most viewed map in the map pool. It is a 3-player spawn map. There are a lot of choke points. Likewise, there's a lot of speed zones in the center when it comes to rotations, when it comes to being aggressive through the center of the map as well. There are a lot of air blockers, so it can be difficult to be aggressive with Banshees and be aggressive with drop play. We'll see how our players will approach this. Let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the top side of Last Fantasy, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Little Fairy. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the teal Protoss player. We have the German Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Jumy. Go. Oh, as Percival, he's opening up with a proxy. Okay, SV sent to the center of the map, and we're going for the proxy racks. Now, the reason why we're going for the center is because Percival, he doesn't know. His opponent could be right side or left side. Could be in either spawn locations, or we proxy dead set in the center to be able to rally in either location to either location once he realizes where exactly Jumy is. So going for the proxy in the center. And we'll see if Jumy can get a read on what's going on. He is scouting the right-hand side. Jumy does go for the scouts. He'll find that Percival is not here. Meanwhile, we have double gases here from Percival. Now just going proxy Reaper. Reaper into what should be Factory on the high ground, so it looks like a standard opener here. Yes, we do have a proxy Reaper, but this is not an all-in. This is not an all-in, this is not hyper-aggressive, this is a way to harass, this is a way to apply pressure early on. A way to try to gain momentum. And to maybe get 1 or 2 probe kills. Jumy does get eyes on the factory. He now knows that the Rax is missing. Reaper has arrived. And does head into the main. It's going to be a Jumy here to reserve his probes. So far, he does pull away. Has control. Saves one. Oh, but he will lose the other. Yeah, 1 probe goes down. Late reaction there by Jumy. Does have a late reaction. More Reapers on the way. Hellions as well. Okay, but only double Reaper. So double Reaper here by Percival. From here, he's floating back. Does float away. And the game will continue. The game will continue. Percival, he has a little bit of momentum. He's killed 2 workers so far. He can go back in and try to get some more. Jumy does have 1 adept back at home. Percival does get a probe. Does get into that mineral line. Gets a volley off. Oh. Can be cleaned up. Checking the vision here, Percival, he actually didn't get to see the tech. Okay. Sorry, my apologies. Did see the Twilight Council on the low ground, so is aware of the tech of choice. Do we open up Charge or Blink? Is the big question here. Charge, okay, so it's gonna be a charge-based opener. Now, if you weren't here for game 1, this is the same build that Jumy went for in that first game. Now, as a reminder, what the pros and cons here? The cons are that he has no way to blink into the main base, to hunt down medevacs, to deflect and deter Banshee play, Raven harass, drop play as well is gonna be a little more difficult defense here by Jumy. But if Percival were to go for an all-in, that's where Jumy can thrive. He's gonna have a little more zealots. From here, he can go and tech into Archons and tech into Storm as well. He should be staying on 2 bases a little bit longer. So he's going to be playing 2 base. Again, just like what we saw in game 1. Percival getting into a second Cyclone, going for Cyclone Harass. Interesting. Assuming he goes for drops. I mean, he saw the Twilight Council. You typically wouldn't make Cyclones like this unless... Okay. Interesting. So I did mention that Jumy should be staying on 2 bases a little bit longer, and he should be, but Jumy, he is going for a ninja expansion. Okay, he does expand here on the right hand side. Bearing in mind that Jumy, he skips his regular 4th or 3rd locations. Does jump over towards the right hand side instead. So Jumy being a little bit greedy. The Cyclones, they're designed to be safe. They're just a really safe way to open up. They defend against Oracles, they defend against Stalkers. They can shut down the Prism. Jumy's on patrol. First, well, he does spot. Yeah, he does spot the patrolling Prism. Jumy not paying attention. Yeah, not paying attention. The Prism is going to go down. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, full Prism falls. Alongside 2 Zealots. And Jumy not attentive enough. Okay, across the map, Jumy going into Storm. Going into Storm. You can see Percival, he's scatting for the 3rd. Oh, he sees the boys. Uh-oh. That was a bit of a tell. He saw there was no Nexus. To see that many boys being pulled is not normal. So that might tip him off. Otherwise, he might just think he's long distance mining and he's just now expanding. That's a possibility. they're set up here outside of the bases. Cyclone Drop is coming in. He's checking. Yeah, he's gonna be. Oh, never mind. I mean, he's kind of checking his own patrol here. He will eventually scout the expansion. There we go. Does boost in, and does find the Nexus. Does find it. Probe's gonna be going down. At the same time, we do have a double drop here towards the main. Jumy has limited vision. Drop does come in. Does unload in time. Forced to recall. Jumy's in danger. Doesn't recall much. A Storm. Storm doesn't quite connect. Yeah, Percival can just keep going. Mitchell going up. Okay, he takes out 11 probes. Okay, Storm towards the end, but these are brutal, I mean, expensive storms, I should say. There we go, another Storm on the drop. And here comes the main army. This is what I was worried about here. We just spent, what, 2-3 storms on the drop? Which means, how many storms are left? 4 Templar. Okay, there's 4 Templar. There's gonna be at least 3 storms. Jumy, he pulls back with the tank. He got 16 probe kills. Nice damage here from Percival. Jumy moving out as he moves out. Drop is moving in. Drop into the main. Catching up pylons, depowering the gateways. More gateways getting depowered. Does pick up, does boost away. Does boost away. Jumy, he is hurting. Ideally, in this kind of position, the Protoss play where they want to be up in expansion. They want to be up a base, up in economy. Percival, his third base has been delayed. That is true, but Jumy, his worker count is it's not where it needs to be. So here comes Jumy. He's got 6 High Templar. Mines are going up. Ooh, brutal connection. Charisma is very low. High Templar goes down. Goes down to 2 Marines. There's about 5 Templar left. Storms are moving forward. Storms, they mainly zone away. Storms connecting with the Medivacs. Better Storm towards the end. Oh, but he stims in. Yeah, he stims in. Takes out every High Templar. All the Templar fall. Mortals are exposed. And Jumy's gonna lose everything. Yeah, he will lose everything. Percival just running through the speed zones. Gonna cash out the Immortals. And Jumy down to a handful of gateway units. He does have 2 High Templar, thankfully, on the high ground. But that was a big loss for Jumy. Losing 3 Immortals, losing 6 High Templar, and the Prism. And he's spread thin. Because of the Ninja base, Jumy, he is spread thin. Percival stepping forward. 9 shots going up. Jumy, he's holding on at least. He's holding on. He's holding on. I mean, there's so little riding on these storms. There's so little potential. He's got 3 High Templar left. All 3 of them are in the Prism. At the same time, we do see a double drop moving out. Jumy pushing up the ramp. Percival, he does not have everything back home to defend. Does force a cancel. Does cancel the CC. Gets a tank. Pushes into the mineral line. Catching reinforcements. Keeping them busy. But Percival, he does race back home. Nice storms. Very nice storms. Taking down most of the Marines. Cells are being cleaned up, and Percival holds. Yeah, he's holding on. The army is overstimmed though. Jumy forcing his way forward. But without any more storms, I don't know if he has enough. MPs are connecting. Zelset barely trying to get through that choke point. And again, it's still close, but the Zelts are running out. Yeah, running out Zelts. Boys are being pulled. More Zelts have arrived. Okay, more Zelts have arrived. Jumy, does he have enough? With the Zealots, he does. He barely has enough. He does force to pick up. Again, so much supply in Medivacs, but it looks like Jumy, he barely breaks through. Again, it was a messy game with ninja bases, with initial proxy, of course, as well. Jumy took some rough fights, but here he barely overwhelms. Denies the third TC. 16 SCVs going down. Jumy, he's doing it. Again, not the cleanest of games. Not at all. Very messy. Oh, yes, boys, they come back too soon. GG and Jumy, he will break through. He will break the back of Percival, and Jumy will advance on to the semi-finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Jumy, he will break through. Again, it's still a very, very intense couple of moments. So Jumy, he himself did have his own rough economy. It took him a long time to get up to 4 base saturation, if even that. And we saw that Jumy, he was able to break on through, barely overwhelm Percival across the map. Percival, he was so overstimmed, his army was battered, bruised. Sure, he had Medivacs, but they were also very low on energy, and we saw that Jumy barely had enough. Broke the back of Percival. GG. GG, well played. With that, Percival, sorry, with that, Jumy does advance on. With that, Percival is going to be knocked out of the tournament. And we have some updates. We have to catch up on the brackets. Let's figure out where we are and where we are headed.